Guys, I saw this interesting video here, and I want your opinion on this. This is a dude going around in Japan, which is they have excellent sushi there. And he's asking these women in Japan if it's cheating to hook up with an accountant, if you know what I'm saying, to like physically hang out with an SW, a social worker. And it's an interesting culture in Japan. And I wanted to kind of have a conversation about it. So let's watch it. Let's see what we got here.
に行くことは浮気かどうかっていう、どう思いますか？風俗に行くことは浮気かどうかっていう。
I'll translate. What he's saying is, does prostitution count as cheating? Just so you know.
どう思いますか？
浮気じゃない。浮気じゃない。
And they said it doesn't. What do you think about that?
Why are they shaking their head? Yes, because it does.
It says it does not.
気持ちの浮気は嫌なんですけど、性欲
I wouldn't like it. I'm gonna read it for them, not for you. I wouldn't like it if they had feelings for the one.
の浮気は別に。
But I don't care if it's just for sex. That's so weird to me. What do you think about that?
Is this a trusted source?
I mean, it's. I don't know. Do you feel like you could trust these women?
I don't know.
Are you saying that you're so skeptical? You feel like this isn't their honest answer?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't speak their language.
Okay, well, this on the fucking screen says they don't care. I'm gonna take that for truth enough. And our American audience, well, they're not gonna go and like pull up Google Translate and go, "Oh wait, Robin, and you guys are fucking idiots."
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna play the whole thing.
勝手にしてくれるんやったらいいかな。
So
一般人と連絡取れる間でやられるよりは、
I'd
店
rather
で
they go to a prostitute than
That's
the random girls.
interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
ちゃんとしてもらった方がいいです。
Yes。なんかわざわざ風俗
She said it does. I don't understand why they want to go to a prostitute.
に行く意味がわからない。
の
It does not. That's so weird.
秘密にしてたらあ
It's not good if they
れ
hide
だ
it.
けど、まあ情に
This is good. You can go to as long as you're on it. Like, babe, I'm gonna go fucking run out to the massage parlor. I'm getting an expert massage. It's all good.
恋とかしなければいいじゃないですか。わけ
It does
では
not.
ない。隠さなけれ
It does not if they don't hide it.
ば浮気じゃない。浮気するなら風俗
I told my boyfriend, go to a prostitute if you want to cheat.
に行けって言ったことあります。金払えばいい。
I mean, it's not cheating at that point. It's okay if he pays money. I mean, it's more expensive to get a regular girl, I feel like, than it is to fuck a prostitute. Unless you go to half off Applebee's after 10. Beautiful stuff. Cheap ass fucking meal. And then you go, though, and she's like, oh, can I get a dinner meal? And it's like, ugh, of course you can. I'm a nice guy. And you roll your eyes because then one, you have to pay more. Two, you can't get as much appetizers because that's the main pull. Now we can't get 4 appetizers anymore. I guess we're getting 2. Which ones do you want? And then she's like, well, I want this and this. I was like, I didn't really want that, but I guess we're getting spinach and artichoke dip. And I'm not getting my fucking chicken quesadillas, no pico. Well.
いいよって言ったことあります。新しいね、出会いじゃな
They
くて
just pay money instead of meeting new girls.
お金払
Incredible.
って言ってるなら別にいいから。納得できる理
It
由
does not. If there's a decent person, what are they?
Reason.
Oh, dude, I'm fucking tired. Okay.
だった
I was
ら
about to say, are they vetting the prostitutes?
浮気とは思わないかも。
例えば、
Like what?
どういう
付き合い
Companionship.
例えば上司とかの。
Like with their Wait, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Hold on. I gotta re-listen to that because I don't understand what that means. What?
別にいいから。納得できる
It does not if there's a decent reason for them to do
理
it.
由だったら浮気とは思わないかも。
例えば、
Like what?
どういう
付き合い
Companionship. How is that maybe she thinks that maybe in their culture companionship means fucking raw dog, you know?
例
例えば上司とかの。
Like with their boss? What the fuck? Okay.
怒るけど
I would get
言
upset,
ってもまだ
but
許
it's
せ
still acceptable. Dude, what?
る風俗ならなんか日本なら
It's kind of part of Japanese culture.
で
Really?
はのなんか文化じゃ
I mean, they do fucking have dirty panty dispensers over there.
Do they really?
You were the one who told me!
Oh yeah.
You showed me a video where there's like a dispenser, you put it in there, and then like that's one of those balls that like stickers come out of in
Yeah.
America, except it's fucking dirty,
Dirty
panties.
period panties.
Really? Damn.
じゃないけどやっぱり有名じゃ
And it's famous for
ない
prostitution.
ですか
That's
風
wild.
俗とかっていうのがそういう意味で
So
は
maybe it's only in Japan.
日本ならではでそう
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, what is their prostitution like over there? You know, like, is it an actual like business, or is it like here where it's illegal? I think that makes a difference.
I think it's legal over there. I'm not 100% educated on Japan. I can look into it. My understanding, though, is in Japan it's legal. Is prost legal in Japan? Oh, it's illegal. However, because it's the definition. Excuse me. Read that.
Prostitution is illegal in Japan. However, because of its definition by the law, all kinds of sexual intercourse, like acts, are legal, and there's no penalty on those involved.
It sounds like that's confusing to me, the wording, but it sounds like prostitution there is like weed here.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still think. I mean, it seems kind of bad.
So, husband,
wife,
do you think that sleeping with the prostitute is cheating?
Yeah. And I don't want to go to Japan and sleep with prostitutes. I don't know if that's a subtextual question that you're trying to ask me.
No, that was just the prompt in the video, so I wanted to ask you.
When I hear this myself, first, I mean, whatever, your culture does you. When I first hear this, my response is like, oh, this is not good for a relationship. I don't find this to be a positive, like, oh, let me go fuck a prostitute. I'm not a big fan of open or poly relationships. We have a history with that, and it's just, I don't think it's particularly productive in a relationship. I think you could subsidize actual compatibility with somebody by opening yourself up sexually, which is not going to be positive in you finding like a solid partner. Yeah, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's going to create a long-standing binding relationship personally. But, you know, I guess you do you. If they think it's fine. I feel like it's sexist. I feel like it's just kind of sexist. It's like you're commodifying sex in a way, and then the women are expected, because there's no way that these women, without social engineering in some capacity or some kind of, would be okay with this. But it's like the society tells them that it's okay. There's no way women are okay with this, like just naturally.
And I wonder, like, it's not like one of them mentioned that it's just part of Japanese culture that men sleep with prostitutes.
That's a code.
So I wonder if there is like a male prostitution, like
I doubt it.
Like how likely it is for women to engage in that.
You know, it's perfectly possible, and I don't know the answer to that, but I feel like it's really very one-sided.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I doubt that there's there's an ebb and flow of it, and I think that this type of stuff leads to, like, I'm not a huge fan. Like, I'm okay with the existence of like sex work. You know what? I get it. It's, you know, you do you. I mean, OnlyFans is definitely different than physical engagement, but I feel like opening up the door to like sex, like physical prostitution, I think that is a society letting you know that women are basically an object, and that's how they're generally treated. I know people who do prostitution are usually doing it too because they can't find other work, and that's a whole conversation about like empowering middle class and better jobs for people. But I feel like society, because Japan is more sexist than America, like generally speaking, not because their people are fundamentally anything. It's just like that's kind of the culture. They're also a bit more racist as well. If you engage with that type, like, you know, you look into Japan, they're a bit more, you know, they're more closed off. We're a melting pot. So, yeah, I don't think it's a positive. I think it gives men an alternative, too. It actually has been lowering their birth rate, too. Their native birth rate has been reduced. So one of the problems that Japan has as well, because it makes it difficult for them to have, like, a robust economy. But, yeah, I just think it's bad. I mean, I'm not sitting here morally condemning Japan. I just don't think it's good to, in general, I'm not a huge fan of prostitution, but especially to consider it not cheating. That's wild to me.
Yeah.
Because I get the argument, like, hey, it's just like that's what they're selling. It's just a product, you know. It's like you're eating a bagel, I guess. But it's always more intimate than that. You can't stop. You just can't stop that. There's always like a hormonal exchange, and then also if you're fucking around with other girls, that's less intimate energy you have for your partner, which I think strains a relationship and isn't going to have a long-term positive impact. So.
And then aside from that, just the STDs and STIs.
That's true. I didn't even think about that, boy.
That's what I like can't stand about. And that's why, so during like the AIDS epidemic,
Okay.
that's how a lot of women found out that their husbands were cheating on them with other men.
Because
Because
AIDS.
they would contract AIDS during
Yeah.
like unsafe sexual situations. Then you come home and you're sleeping with your wife and you're passing it on to her.
Right. And just to be clear, that's not saying like that. There's a whole conversation about how, there was a level of promiscuity because it had to be hidden. And so like when you're going to meet up, if you're a dude that was forced to marry a girl because society hated you and you're meeting up with another dude, you're just getting a quickie in, you know what I mean? So that's not being anti-gay. But like fundamentally, there is a huge spread of STDs, which can be very negative for a society and for individuals too.
Yeah, if
Very
you're
violating.
engaging in just like quick, easy, like sexual acts,
Yeah.
you're not gonna be protected, and you're not even having those conversations to explore those things.
What do you mean?
Like,
To explore what things?
you're not building enough of a relationship to talk about getting tested and your exposures and
yeah.
stuff like that.
And it's easy to be like, yeah, I'm STD free, and you might be thinking you're telling the truth. But yeah, I got an STD test last week, but then you fucked 4 prostitutes and you don't really know. And since you don't know the person, it doesn't really matter. And the prostitute's probably not going to tell you that they got an STD because like what that's going to hurt. That hurts their bottom line.
I'm just against like sex outside of a partnership.
Yeah.
Overall. But when it comes to this question, of course, like doing anything with a prostitute is cheating.
I think that's wild. What about like a hand job at a massage parlor?
That's no.
I'm not saying I want to do that. I was just wondering.
Literally, like nobody.
Why are you getting mad at me?
Because I'm just like thinking about
It's
it
a
makes me angry.
because
I
here's my
know.
thing is like I would never want that, But my thing is that still falls under the umbrella of a massage.
Okay, so what if I went to get a massage and a man slipped a finger in?
No, of course not.
Why not?
Because you slipped it in. It's not consensual.
But that's a literal massage.
That's not consensual.
Why?
You said
What if I
he
consent
just
to
slipped it in. Nah, I think it's different
Why?
because that's inside your body. Penises are outside, so it's like you're just rubbing the exterior surface. In order
Okay,
to
so what if he
get,
doesn't
Hold
slip?
on. To get in there, you have to kind of move some freeway, What? Listen, I'm a little bit sexist. I don't want you not to. I'm not saying I want to do it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know, but I know that like you'd be like, yeah, it's a thing that happened.
You're right. When it comes to a guy, I'm like, yeah, whatever. But when it comes to a girl, like, you're right. Like, but then I think that also gets to a conversation about the way men and women perceive sex. And men are usually a little loosier, goosier on it, where women, I think sex is more emotionally meaningful. So generally speaking, if a woman is exploring that, I feel like that's a higher sign that there's a problem in the relationship than a guy. I'm not saying it's okay. I agree with you. It's inappropriate. You shouldn't be getting, special massages as a man. It was just a question. I'm just saying.
This was interesting though.
Yeah. What about a lap dance?
I don't like it either. I don't think a lap dance is cheating.
There's something wrong with it.
But I think that it's gross.
I feel like a lap dance is worse than a hand job.
No.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Okay. I feel like some reason.
But I would not
more
be
body
happy.
involved.
There's more body involved, but like as long as you didn't touch them.
I still think it's fucking weird.
Oh, I think it's weird and it's gross. Like if I learned that
Gotcha.
you got a lap dance, I'd be like, you're disgusting. I don't want to look at you.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I guess I'm not getting.
But like that's not
I have
like
no desire.
cheating. It's just like dirty.
Gotcha.
In my opinion.
Interesting. Definitely in the cheating realm, close to the progress.
It's in
at
the
least.
You're a fucking problem right now. That's
Yeah,
like how
you're,
it would feel.
you're testing boundaries.
Like
to
you
see
could
if
still redeem yourself
How would I redeem myself?
by being a good boy.
Like burning down a strip club?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. That's a joke. Okay. Yeah, I thought that segment would be interesting. I thought you would actually enjoy that segment a little bit. Did you enjoy that segment?
It was interesting.
It was different.
Yeah.
Kind of hungry for Asian food now.
Well, we have a lot.
What about grinding on someone and the dude came in his pants? What about that, babe? Yeah. What about that really stimulating question?
Well, that person was obviously involving themselves in a more intimate lap dance, so that would be a problem.
What about VR porn?
Is there anybody interacting on the other side? That's not like a computer.
Well, the person, it is a person on the other side. It's a video recording of the person, but they don't know you or anything. It's basically just like 3D porn. And you hook up a machine to your Bing Bong.
I saw one that your phone clicks into it,
What?
and then you just hold it like this, but then there's a mechanism in it that moves up and down for you.
I don't know how I feel about what you're telling me right now. That's insane.
But yeah, again, like engaging in something like that is not cheating. However, if it becomes some type of obsession that it impacts your day-to-day function and impacts the intimacy in your relationship, then yeah, it is a problem.
Yeah, well, that's the thing I have a problem with too, is that I feel like having the door open to this type of behavior being considered cheating, it's going to have a negative impact on the intimacy of a relationship, which I think is an important number one importance. Like, it's going to, first of all, reduce your necessity to be more compatible, because if you are, and this is, people need to be better about their compatibility, but we're very compatible in the bedroom. I'm not going to be too explicit, don't worry. You know what I'm saying? I could be very explicit, though. Oh, the other night was good.
Stop it.
Sorry, I just had to get a little bit out. I love you so much. I'm a neurodivergent minor. But I think that having your relationship open in some capacity, whether it is an open relationship, and I understand open relationships are consensual, and this seems to be consensual, although I think that there's a societal aspect to this that's, kind of conditioning these girls into being forced to feel a way that they don't want to feel necessarily. But, that's another conversation for another day. Regardless of whether it's consensual and okay with the relationship, I think it has a negative impact on the relationship. You only have so much love to give and attention to give, and what is the other word I'm looking for? Affection? Something like that. What's the other word? There's another word I'm looking for. Intimacy to give. And I think that's just fundamental. And when you go and you have sex with somebody, you're giving some intimacy away. You might say, and even as a man, like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. I don't care. It's just sex. But it isn't. It's never going to be just sex. You're always going to have an engagement with that. That's going to be not necessarily appropriate. You're opening the door to allow yourself to engage with that behavior, and you're going to lean onto that behavior as a crutch. You're not having a positive, you have a desire. And if you want to be open, do your thing. Like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be. This is my personal opinion. I wouldn't legislate this. But you have a desire, and the way that you're dealing with your desire is to engage in it. I don't think that that's positive. Instead of figuring out a different way, which I'm a man too. Like that's been I'm not gonna say a struggle, but that has been an adjustment in our relationship, and I've been adjusting, and I haven't been fucking prostitutes or anything. And it's getting better every day. And if anything, not having that alternative and leaning into my wife fully, we've had some very positive. We've had some very trying not to be explicit. We've had very positive relationship building, intimate encounters. Was that good?
Yeah.
That wasn't too intense. Is that good?
It was good.
We didn't blah,
but
blah.
not even in those very literal intimate ways, but just in other ways.
Oh, it's not just
dates, conversations, meaningful time spent together. That's the thing that's increased most in our transition from where our relationship was to where it is now. Is just spending nice time together.
Yeah, it's fun to role play as somebody who has to try to get pussy from your wife. But it works out. It's like everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna be this random girl at a bar, and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna pretend I actually have to impress you, so I'm gonna take you on a nice date at 10 o'clock randomly at night and listen to what you have to say. Let's normalize cosplaying as having to get pussy from your wife or your partner.
Is that what you do in your head?
Not really, but it's a fun thought. I just like taking you out and fucking enjoying it. But if people are like,
fun.
We have a lot of fun. Even the little things. Shopping was fun the other day. Going to H Mart for an hour was fun. We just walked around. We looked at different exotic foods. You get excited.
Different snacks.
Well, I enjoy when you get excited. There was a food that you asked me for. You said, "Can we get this food?" I think it was what was it? You said, "Oh, we can make our own of something." the spicy thing.
Oh, the tteokbokki.
You're like, we can make our own tteokbokki, and like you said it to me as if it was a proposition, and I'm like, yeah, get it, that'll be exciting. And then you did like your little like, oh yeah, and your hand clap, and you get excited in the store, and you went and grabbed everything. I enjoy those moments. Those are my favorite moments when you get like you get excited about silly things like that, but not bad silly. You know, just
Yeah.
I enjoy that. I like it when you get excited. I live for it.
Just another thought I have on this topic is something that me and you have talked about before.
Yeah.
And it's not prostitution, but like openness in a relationship.
Sure.
I think that we've all seen like an increase in people in openly in open relationships.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And I mean, a lot of times it's like cringe people that you'd be like, yep, they're in an open relationship.
Yeah, you get that. There's a certain aesthetic to people in open relationships, and I think it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that aesthetic.
But I think that more like
you were stimming, yeah.
regular people are engaging in open relationships too, and I find it interesting because it seems like instead of people, it seems like people are getting with partners that they're not satisfied with, but they still want to stay together with them. And usually I would say in a healthy relationship, you have your partner, and if you're not going to get 100% of like what you desire in your life from one person, usually I feel.
Do you think that's true?
We were just talking about it. And it doesn't have to be something major. I'm talking about like my love for musical theater and stuff like that.
Okay,
you don't really like that.
Okay, fair enough.
And I get to hang out with like John and do that stuff, or you hang out with your friend John and play.
Right,
WoW,
you don't like playing video games too much, or at least not to the caliber I play. Okay,
so
I got a little insecure. I'm sorry.
I know that, but that's how I meant it.
Okay, fair enough.
But so I've seen people like that are not functioning like that. Instead, they're with a partner that like they're not really getting anything out of, but they want to stay in that relationship. So instead of like supplementing with friends, they're supplementing with like multiple partners.
They're supplementing with sex friends.
But I feel like the sex friends are beyond friends.
I know, but that's because there's a boundary crosser when you introduce sex to friendship, but that's what it is.
But yeah, so that's all I was getting at. I feel like I didn't say it
nowadays.
very well.
No, you did.
But like instead of people like having friends and being happy with their partner, they're trying to hold on to a partner while replacing them with multiple people.
I think people are subsidizing the wrong things almost.
Yeah.
It's like weird. It's like find somebody. I think that the most important aspects are like sexual compatibility and I guess other types of intimate compatibility. Like you should want to have a lot. Like I don't know how to express it fully because there's no way I could, but we have good sexual compatibility. We have very good marital compatibility. We have a lot of conversations about kids, so we're going to have very good parental compatibility. We have pretty solid political compatibility, which I think can be pretty important, especially if that means a lot to you.
Future plans.
Yeah, I don't know what you'd call that. We have good we have good building compatibility. We'll call it that. Building compatibility, growth compatibility. But we don't have good like hobby compatibility necessarily. Well, we kind of do. Well, a little bit here. Like you like arts and crafts and musicals and stuff, and I like video games and jerking off, right? So we don't have
We have enough.
But we have enough.
We have enough stuff that overlaps for us to still have things that we like independently.
Yeah, but then also the stuff that we like independently, for me at least, I get excited when we engage in your hobbies sometimes because you're so excited about your hobbies. So like when we go to the farms, and I don't give a fuck about the farms. I really don't. But like not in a negative way. You know, I'm apathetic about it. And then we go there, and then you get excited to pick apples. That makes me like being there at the farms because you're excited. And I think that that's positive as well. You obviously want to make your partner happy. You want to have like that type of compatibility as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
High five.
Yeah, very nice. So that was an interesting set. That actually was like a lot more. We had so much more conversation than I thought we'd have over that.